And so what I'd like to do is introduce our guest tonight, the godfather of renegade marketing. I'd recommend putting on a seatbelt because you're going to be thrown back in your chair tonight, and your adrenaline is going to be pumping by the time we're done with this call. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest, Mr. Val Smyth. There you
Good.
are.
Thank you so much. As I take you through this journey tonight, I'm going to challenge your mindset. Many of you are very strong intellects. You're very highly educated. And usually when you get off a conference call with me, it's kind of like a paradigm shift. And some people have a hard time with that, and some people have a great time with that. So I just wanted to be straightforward with you and let you know that some of the concepts that I teach are a little bit unorthodox, and sometimes some people call them a little esoteric. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, my name is Val Smyth, if you didn't catch that. I was born and raised in Canada, and I'm presently living in Canada right now. I've been in marketing for 35 years. I've graduated from a shy, introverted, scared human being to a nitwit marketer, to a network marketer, to a corporate executive, to eventually launching my own company because I felt there was a need in the industry for people to learn what I perceived to be a truth in my own psychological world that I live in. I really felt there was a lot of untruths being taught in the network marketing industry, in the affiliate industry, just in the direct selling industry, period. I felt people really needed to know the concepts. And so in 2001, it was actually July 29th, 2001, I was sitting in my condo, and I launched Mentors in Motion. Some of you might have heard about Mentors in Motion. It was big from 2001 to 2006, and then all of a sudden, a younger generation of guru, I guess. I never considered myself a guru. I always considered myself a carrier pigeon, but we got all these gurus that were 21, 22 years old. I guess they knew everything about marketing and decided to come out into the world and launch all these automated systems where people didn't want to really evolve as human beings anymore. They really didn't want to learn and grow and develop communication skills and relationship skills and all the things that are important to running a very successful enterprise all around. And so I do have personal challenges with things that go on in the industry today. I mean, I do believe in automation. Do not get me wrong. I do believe in technology. Do not get me wrong. But I believe it's very important how you use the technology. And so what happened, there was a new generation of marketing experts out there that said you could stay in bed, be brain dead, and make $1 million a year staying at home doing nothing but hitting a button. And we have these turnkey systems, and we have these funnel tunnel systems, and we have all kinds of incredible things that would be duplicatable for your success. Now, I understand that there's many people out there that can make an awful lot of money on the internet without talking to people, without having conversation with people. But personally, I don't think that's duplicatable. I don't think you can teach that to the average person, because usually when you teach that to the average person, and usually when the average person learns it over a period of time, that type of technology is obsolete. So some of the concepts that I taught in Mentors in Motion, and I'll just tell you, in Mentors in Motion, we put 143,752 people in that business. I was only working an hour and a half a day to do that, believe it or not. I was utilizing a system that I'll share with you tonight and show you how we made so many sales. We did about $91 million in gross sales, and that doesn't mean I made $91 million. It was a $500 business opportunity, and I paid my affiliates $400 on each sale selling a $500 workshop where people would get to learn what I called the Dead Sea Scrolls to marketing with myself every Sunday. They'd be on live calls for 6 years. We ran those live calls. I don't think we ever missed a Sunday. And at the same time, we had a 3.5-hour power recorded workshop that had some pretty esoteric, interesting concepts to it as well. And so if any of you are on this line and you're thinking about quantum physics or how water flows and stuff like that, I do apologize. I'm not a scientist, but what I am is a marketer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you, I'm not going to take you through complete teachings, but I'll give you some ideas and theories and methodologies as to what I've been using to create massive wealth for my family and always be a top producer. I think in my 35 years, my first 17 years, I was useless in this industry. I didn't know how to sell anything. I was always joining everyone's business opportunities and not making a buck. I'd be losing more money than I was making. But then I went through an evolutionary process when I was introduced to a concept called the Master Key System back in the early 90s. And then I became a student of the Master Key System, and then I created my own course out of that, of course, which I was talking about, Mentors in Motion. There was a young lady out of Australia. Her name is Rhonda. She actually used some of our marketing material to create and write a book called The Secret. So anytime you see Aladdin and Aladdin's lamp in excuse me, in the law of attraction, that has to do with what we were doing back in 1994 through the Commonwealth Teachings, which was a modified version of the Master Key System. So I'm going to kind of be bouncing back and forth here. I got so much data and information in my head. It's been a while since I popped on a call to basically release all this type of information, so I kind of feel like I'm going through a detox on this line, basically bringing back the past and sharing with you a potentially powerful future for every single one of you. So the reason why I did Mentors in Motion, when we did $91 million in sales and put over 143,000 people in there, people always wanted to know. And I remember when I was shy and introverted and, when I was in marketing and I always had a dream to own a Ferrari and have a mansion and a house and, be able to live the lifestyle that they always, told us from the front of the room. But I was still that shy, introverted, scared person sitting in the back of the room. I never even wanted the speaker to have eye contact with me. I was so terrified, just having anxiety attacks because, these were high-powered people, and I felt that I was unworthy of being around any of these individuals. That probably came from self-esteem issues that I had growing up as a child. My dad was an alcoholic, and my mom left when I was 8 years old. So there was a lot of craziness going on within the family, and you kind of adopt some belief systems that you probably shouldn't have bought into, but when you're a young child, you do. So I kind of went through a lot of emotional issues as a young adult and, wanting to attain something and be the daydreamer, but still, sabotaging myself and afraid of success and really not utilizing the gifts and talents that I did have, and every single one of you have the very similar gifts and talents in your own unique way. Maybe some of you just aren't tapping into, your untold trade secrets that are lying dormant inside of you. So the big reason why I launched Mentors in Motion, outside of the fact that it was probably therapeutic for me to help me get on my way again, and which I was doing well anyhow, but when you're teaching, you probably learn more than your students. People wanted to know. They wanted to know why, I had made a lot of money. They always wanted to know why I was able to build massive sales organizations or move, millions of dollars worth of product. Because in my 35 years in this industry, with my teams and myself and the people that I've worked around, we've moved about $600 million worth of product around the world in a period of time. And so people are curious. They want to know, how do the big boys or the big girls do this? How does somebody literally become successful when the rest of us are not? And, when I would used to talk to the perceived heavy hitters or, the big superstars in marketing, if you ever ask them the question, they'd say, well, let me go back and ask the question first. You'd ask them the question, how did you really make your money? How did you really create prosperity and copious amounts of wealth in your life? How did you do it? And they'd usually come up with a concept called, duplication, hard work, great attitude, the power of positive thinking, and, getting down and making it happen, but they would never really sit down and explain to you what they were physically doing on a daily basis in order to manifest and harvest incredible wealth and success. So I would hear them always talk about, duplication, hard work, family and friends, get out there and contact, get out there and talk to everybody. That's not really how you make money. It really isn't. It's a very small part of it, but, a lot of them work smart. They don't work hard. And I always felt that it was really unfortunate, and I always felt that we were deceived as individuals. For God's sakes, just tell us the truth. How did you really make your money? Why are you making $200,000-$300,000 a month? Never mind a year. And so I learned how to do all that stuff pretty easily. It became habitual to create wealth. And so I decided through Mentors in Motion, and even before Mentors in Motion, I was doing it for free with my organizations, my sales teams and whatnot, showing them and teaching them the concepts as to how some of us were creating massive wealth and generating phenomenal sales volume with everything and anything we would market and touch. But I had to do that in a very gentle way. Some people call me the original, renegade marketer. Aaron refers to me as the godfather of renegade marketing because I became very controversial. I got to give you a little bit of history to prime you to where I'm at. I became very controversial because I would challenge the establishment. I challenged just about everything that we were taught, and I would go on conference calls and I would expose that, and it would peeve some people off. Some people, you get haters out there, and you get people that love you, and then you get haters and people that love you. They say truth goes through three three variations. It goes through, well, I guess number one, it's ridiculed, and then it's violently opposed, and then eventually it's accepted. And so I was teaching some pretty interesting things, and I was using some very interesting language on conference calls too. I'm not talking about curse words or anything like that, but I was basically utilizing names and describing people out there, and they didn't like it very much because I really was sick and tired of the BS that was being taught, and I really felt you all had a right to know, and I was very fortunate to share that with over 2.2 million people I've taught in my journey through Mentors in Motion and teaching the Dead Sea Scrolls to marketing. So let me give you some of the concepts. I'm not going to get into the in-depth teaching tonight. I'll just give you a rundown on the purpose of tonight's call. I'm trying to get as much information as I possibly can with every single one of you tonight without getting into the teachings. I'm not going to do a 4-hour workshop or a 5-hour workshop tonight. Aaron wanted me to pop on this call because he and I are working a project together, and Jeff's with us on this too. I mean, we're working as a team, and I want to come out of the closet again, and I want to leave a legacy. As you get a little bit older in the game of life, sometimes you evaluate, reassess your situation. And so now that I'm reaching the half a century point in my life this year, I'll be 50 years old, believe it or not, you want to leave a legacy behind. So I want to take one more hit at this. I want to build one more empire, one more dynasty. And it could be micro, could be macro, whatever you want. It's going to be fun. And so we're looking for wonderful people that want to be a part of just an incredible team. And we're not going to get into what it is we're going to do tonight. We can talk about that maybe on another call for those of you that are interested. I respect the fact that some of you are part of other things, and that's okay. You don't have to have anything to do with what I'm doing in this lifetime, but hopefully, you'll pick up a couple things on tonight's call that will better you and get you to where you want to go and what you need to do in your journey called life. So that's what we're doing on tonight's call. I just wanted to give you a rundown and let you know what it is we're doing to some degree without getting into the nuts and bolts. So if any of you are attracted to what it is we're talking about, and if any of you really want to connect, they say the secret to life, in business, life's an inside job. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And you want to be connected to the right people to get you to where you want to go in the game of life. And that kind of goes back to the philosophy of what I was teaching. I'll just touch on that. I'll give you some little points as to what I was teaching in the Mentors in Motion course. And then if any of you want to know more about the Mentors in Motion course and access it for next to nothing, there is a little bit of a cost, but I mean, it's I don't know, it's like going through a drive-through or something like that. We used to sell it for $500, but Aaron's going to have a special offer if any of you want to get into the nuts and bolts of Mentors in Motion that, over 2 million people have been exposed to around the world, and they paid, half-decent dollars for it. Some of the concepts that I teach very quickly, if any of you are going to build a business, if you're going to build an online business that's affiliate, if you're going to build a network marketing opportunity, some of the concepts you want to utilize are going to be pretty powerful. And I'll give you a list of some of the things that I'll run through with you right now. Number one, if I was going to go into a business opportunity today, and it doesn't matter whether it's an affiliate program, network marketing, I would definitely want to make sure I'm there for the right reason. And if you're there strictly for money, you're going to kick yourself in the butt later. Because money's not going to be good enough. You can cheat somebody else, you can cheat another human being, but you just can't cheat God or the universe, and you don't have to believe in God, you don't have to believe in the universe, you don't have to believe in anything. But I do believe that there's a force out there. If you're strictly there for money, it means you're going to be very self-centered, very self-motivated for your own desires, and people aren't going to become a priority. So make sure your passion, your heart's in the right place before you make a decision to get involved in a business opportunity. And hopefully you're a great believer, a passionate believer in the product of whatever it is you're marketing. That's going to be paramount to your success. The next thing you want to do is you want to take a look at the type of team you want to work with, the type of people you want to attract. Are you attracting money people? Are you attracting product people? Who are you attracting? And are you going to get involved in a system that's based on duplication? All right, I'll just throw a couple things out at you. Duplication. You've all heard that word duplication, and if you haven't, I promise you will hear that word duplication at some point in your life. The only thing that's ever been duplicated successfully in the history of marketing, in my 49 years of being on this planet and being an overachiever, is failure. Never buy into duplication. Now, some of you are going to be mad at me. Some of you are going to dislike me. Some of you are going to say, my great mentors and teachers teach duplication. I think duplication is for fools. I think it's for idiots. And I'm not directing that at anybody on this call. I'm just saying the only thing ever duplicated successfully in the history of marketing is failure. People are not duplicatable. I don't know too many people that have generated $600 million plus in sales that are on this call tonight. I'm not duplicatable. People are not duplicatable. Then the argument is systems are duplicatable. Well, Val, people aren't duplicatable. Systems are duplicatable. That's not true. Sure, you can use the same system, but you're going to get a different result. You and I could work the exact same autoresponder, the exact same letter, the exact same leads, and I promise you, I'd put $10 million on the table. I'd put $10 million on the table that our end result will not be duplicated, which means it will not be exactly the same, which is a photocopy principle. You use a photocopier, you duplicate a picture, it comes out pretty much exactly the same, but it's not truly authentic. It's duplicated. So I teach a concept called delegation. If I'm going to make $1 million or $10 million or $5 million, heck, if I'm going to make $5,000 a month, if I'm going to get involved in a business opportunity, I'm going to delegate. And how I delegate is by using a concept called the power of the mastermind. And the mastermind is understanding that there are unique individuals out there on this planet that have incredible gifts and talents, that have incredible strengths. So what I do is I look for people that are better than me in areas that can compensate for my weaknesses. And what I do is I do everything in my power to connect with that human being. And I don't do it through an automated system where they don't hear my voice, or I don't pick up the phone, or I'm not talking to them through video conferencing. I make sure people get to know who I am. I'm not one of those people that hide behind the internet, because that's not who I am. Spiritually, that's not who I am. I love people. I love relationship marketing. So I look for people that are better than me, and I develop relationships with them, and I basically discover or ask and put forth a proposal as to how we can work together in friendship and spirit in order to find a commonality that we can work together in a project, and we dominate and control. And therefore, there's going to be no room for weakness. When you dominate and control, there's no room for weakness. So find passion, delegate, don't duplicate, mastermind, build with people that are stronger than you, connect with people that are stronger than you, bring your gift and talent to the table, they bring their gift and talent to the table. Okay? Here's the definition of marketing. If any of you want to make money, study what I'm going to say right now. Study what I'm going to say right now. It is so simple. It is so mind of a child-like. Take this information and break down each and every single word. Think about it. Internalize it. Assimilate it. Manifest it. And truly understand what I'm saying. Don't understand it from an intellectual basis. Internalize what I'm about to tell you right now. And if you can do that, money will never be an object. If you're thinking prosperity, you don't have to worry. Some of you might not ever want to make a lot of money. That's fine. But for those of you that are looking for a lifestyle of freedom in calling the shots and controlling your destiny as best you possibly can, understand this. I usually do this to heavy hitters. I definitely do this to company owners, because I don't spend too much time with other heavy hitters. I usually am talking to company owners. They offer me an awful lot of money to come into their business because they want what we bring to the table, my team brings to the table. And so I usually ask company owners this question. There's 3 questions I ask somebody when they want to bring me into a business proposition, when they want to converse about developing a free enterprise-like system. The first question I ask people, and I've never had one human being on the planet ever able to answer this question correctly unless they learned the answer through my workshop before. The first question I ask, and I do this to company owners all the time, they don't know whether to go to the bathroom or watch their hair fall out. I say, okay, look, if you want myself and my team to come forward and participate and market a product, a service, affiliate-wise, network marketing-wise, whatever it may be, what do you know about marketing? As an owner of a company, what do you know about marketing? And usually the common answer they give me kind of goes like this. Well, it's about taking a product from a manufacturing point of view and sending it through a distribution base and getting it to an end user. Sounds like a pretty good answer, right? Well, for somebody that's a little bit wiser, somebody that has the mind of a Jedi, giggle, 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 I'm saying that in a fun-loving way, that answer just doesn't cut it. It's not about manufacturing and distribution and getting it to an end user. Marketing is, are you ready for this? You can write this down, or, I'm sure Aaron's recording this call. Marketing is the art and science of empowering, communicating, and developing a relationship with another human being based on their needs and not mine or yours as promoters of a product, service, or whatever. If you can master what I just said there, marketing is the art and science of empowering, communicating, and developing a relationship with another human being based on their intellectual terms, their psychological terms, you will become a master. You will become a master of the universe in whatever it is you're marketing. Because it's not about you, it's about them. It's about empowering their needs, their wants, their desires, their passions, their goals, their objectives, whatever they think. And speaking about goal setting, you just heard me use the word goal. And I threw the word goal in there intentionally. I don't believe in goal setting. Now, some of you probably are having a hard time swallowing that because maybe you study Anthony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Bob Proctor, Mark Victor Hansen, Harv Eckert. Maybe you study a lot of the greats out there. But personally, another concept that I'll teach you more if you ever decide to tap into what Aaron has to offer you later, you'll discover why goal setting doesn't work. What? Goal setting doesn't work? Val, you must be an idiot. You shouldn't say stuff like that. You must be crazy. You're insane. I study the greatest teachers in the world. They all teach goal setting. The greatest teacher in the world didn't teach goal setting. And I'm not here to promote Christianity because I don't believe in organized religion, but I do believe in what I believe in. But if you study the Torah, the Bible, the Quran, if you study any of the great spiritual books, you will not discover goal setting anywhere in any of those books. I'll use an example, Jesus Christ. And again, I'm not here to promote religion and whether Jesus was here or not, or I don't know. I'm not here to debate anything with you, but a lot of people seem to be able to relate to that book. So I'll use it as an example. Jesus never taught goal setting in the Bible. He said either you believe or you don't. Either you will or you won't. It's not your goal to believe in God. It's not your goal to believe in Jesus. It's not your goal to believe in your wife or your kids. Either you believe in your wife or your husband or you don't. Either you believe and love your children or you don't. It's not a goal. And so I know that sounds really crazy, but when I stopped setting goals and I stopped going to all these power positive thinking workshops, I became a multi-millionaire. But I stopped setting goals. And I'll teach you that if you tap into what Aaron's offering later in a concept called captain and crew. It is powerful. It will help you understand every event that happened to you in your life, exactly why it did, where it did, every minute of your life. You'll understand. Anything you haven't come to terms with, you'll understand. I had a lady out of Arvada, Colorado, just outside of Denver, suburb outside of Denver. She was a psychotherapist, and she said what I did in 40 minutes took her about 7 years to do in counseling with somebody. She was crying. She shouldn't be crying. She's the therapist. She couldn't thank me enough, and I didn't want any glory. I didn't want any edification. I didn't want any thanks. It was simple. She was able to take that information back to one of her clients that was suicidal, devastated, on medication, and help this individual understand every event that happened in their life, the good, the bad, the ugly. All right? And so you'll learn more about that if you tap into what Aaron has to offer in the next email that he'll be sending out, okay? Very powerful stuff. So what I'm teaching here is a little bit esoteric. It challenges. So do you understand how it challenges the industry? The industry teaches duplication. The industry teaches goal setting. The industry teaches hard work. The industry teaches stay at home and do three-way calls all day and hopefully you'll get rich, with your upline. Well, I teach that most uplines are dysfunctional and useless. So you can understand why some people didn't like me. But hell, it was controversial, right? And a lot of people had to come check it out. What's this guy saying? Why is this guy challenging that? And then if you take a look at a lot of the automated concepts that are done by the young kids today, well, I guess they're not kids, they're in their 30s. I shouldn't say kids, forgive me for that, but for me, it's like a younger mentality out there. You're seeing like the Empowerment Network and all that. Controversial information sells. But where did they learn that? They learned it all through Mentors in Motion. A lot of them went through the Mentors in Motion program. And whether you agree with it or disagree with it, doesn't matter. But they're doing it through automation now. It's just they use a different language and different ways of shocking people in order to get their attention. But it's really amazing how controversy can sell. So the point being is, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your business? I'm not quite sure where you're all at, but you want to learn the real powerful techniques of building a business. What I told Aaron I would do tonight is I would show every single one of you how I generated 283,000 sales in 7.5 months, and I was only working maybe 90 minutes a day to do it. You see, when I was doing Mentors in Motion, doing $91 million in sales, I wasn't sitting at home 8 hours a day doing it. I wasn't on Facebook. I wasn't even using automation. I didn't even have a very good website. Aaron will tell you that. We had a cheesy website, you know, and it just talked about Mentors in Motion, but it didn't have any great videos. It didn't have flash videos of me, or, you know, there wasn't a lot, but people really wanted the philosophy. So my point being is, there's so much to learn, and you don't have to have the best technology in the world. And I wanted to share that with you because I have a friend of mine. He lives where I live, not in the same street or house, but he lives in the same city that I do, and I've been talking to him for about 8 years. And I keep saying to him, you know, Brian, when are you going to get going? He says, well, Val, I'm still working on my system. I'm just fine-tuning it and tweaking it. I said, Brian, I have never seen anybody so scared of success in my life as you. For the last 8 years, you've been fine-tuning this system. And I said, the only system that I used was my voice and a telephone. And I was able to generate over 2.2 million students around the world using a telephone. I wasn't on the internet. I wasn't on Google Hangouts, although those are great tools now. And I'd be using all those tools. I wasn't using video email. I wasn't even using an autoresponder. I was using a static website that was not replicated, and I was using a telephone. Pretty primitive. But now, if I had today's technology, and you all have it at your fingertips, if I had today's technology, the Google Hangouts, the video email, video conferencing, YouTube, all these wonderful things, I could turn that 283,000 sales in 7.5 months to probably 5 or 6 million sales in less than a year, if we all did it correctly. And I'm going to show you a concept. So for those of you that are doing some marketing online, I'll teach you one thing tonight. I know I just talked a little bit about theories, some of the concepts we teach. I mean, the list goes on and on, but I don't want to keep you here too long. So I'm physically going to teach you how I put 283,000 people in 3 companies right now in 7.5 months, if you don't mind, all right? And you can use this information for, you know, for whatever you want. A lot of people in the past used to use something called conference calls. We're on a conference call right now. You want to change the language. I don't talk about conference calls much anymore. I call them business briefings or sneak previews. All right? Business briefings or sneak previews. And instead of spending my days, you know, drawing traffic, let me tell you, I just got a quick story here real quick. I got this guy. He talks to me all the time. He wants to pick my brains all the time. But he brags to me. He says, Val, he says, I generate 60,000 hits to my website every 3, 4, 5 days on average. So he gets 60,000 hits to his website. 60,000 people hit his website every 3, 4, 5 days. Kind of fluctuates. So I said to him, I said, Daryl, I said, you got 60,000 people going to your website. I said, man, you must be making at least, you know, $3, 4, $5 million a year. I said, how much dough are you generating every single month with 60,000 people checking your site out, you know, in less than a week? $2,200 a month. I thought, what a pathetic fool. Now, I love him as a human being, and I love him in spirit as a brother and a friend. He's not my real brother, but I just say brother. But I think as a marketer, he's playing the Dumb and Dumber game. And I have no problem saying that. Don't think I'm a bad guy saying that, because he knows that. I've had these conversations with him. If I had 60,000 people coming to my website a week, I'd be making about $500,000 a month. Every week, 60,000 people. I'm telling you, something's seriously wrong. So the point being is, how do you get people to buy? I mean, what's the best way to do it? The best way is not give too much information out. The best way is not to send people to a company website. For those of you that are using self-replicated company websites, be very careful. I think you should have your own domain names, maybe several, and I think you should have your own unique website. I made a fortune off one website that was pretty ugly. People used to say, Val, I went to your website, and I didn't read anything. but I clicked on that link and I could hear your voice. So you're all sitting here on tonight's call. Are you reading anything? No. Am I doing a three-way call right now? No. You're hearing my voice. I don't have somebody doing the presentation for me. I'm doing the presentation. So they go to the website. They say, all it is, it's just a template, like a computer monitor, and I click on it, and I'm hearing audio. And I said, well, what do you think is more powerful, my voice, my charismatic, passionate voice, my enthusiasm, my excitement, my energy? Or would you like to read a company self-replicated website, which 300 other people sent you, and you probably had your own perceived conclusions as to what it was? But because I used a different domain that had nothing to do with what the product or service was, and you went to a website that totally shocked you, there was nothing there other than an audio player, and you listened to it, what was more effective? So I'm sharing that with you because maybe some of you are in companies who are using self-replicated websites, right? But let's say you're sending somebody to a health and nutritional self-replicating website. If you send me to one and I see that it's Amway or Shackley or Herbalife or Mona V or something, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to click off it pretty fast because I already know what it is, or I think I know what it is. Even if I don't, I already have my own conceptions about what I believe it to be in my own belief system. You see what I'm saying? But if I went to a unique, different website, which really didn't give me a whole lot of information, out of curiosity, I'd probably want to generate a conversation with you to discover more, to find out what it is you're doing. So separate yourself from what the other people are doing. Now, I know I went off on a little trip there. I told you I'd show you I put 283,000 people in a company. I'll do that. I'm going to do the mathematics for you right now. But all these things that a lot of people are doing to generate traffic, and they're sending them to all these different websites, you know, replicated websites that all look the same, people have seen them 1,000 times over again. What makes yours so unique? And that's why I think relationship marketing is so important. See, I use the internet to develop relationships. I use the internet to get people's attention. I use the internet so I can get somebody's phone number or their Skype so I can have a physical conversation with them. I want to build a friendship, relationship with them. And when you do that, it allows a bond, a connection to take place, and then it can take it to the next level. Just getting out there being reckless and blowing away, 50, 60,000 leads a week and dumping them in the garbage because they didn't buy your stuff. I mean, what a shame, what a waste. It's like pouring food, down the drain. Why would you do it? That's millions of dollars being thrown out. So here's what I do in a nutshell very quickly. I know not everybody feels comfortable doing presentations. Not everybody feels comfortable speaking. Not everybody feels comfortable being charismatic. Not everybody feels comfortable creating a story, a truthful story. Not everybody feels comfortable delivering a message. Or they'll say, well, I don't know how to speak as good as you. Well, I don't know how to say what you say, and you say it differently, and you say it better, and if I could only be like you. And that's why duplication doesn't work, because we all can't be like each other, right? So what I do when I build massive organizations to create massive wealth for people like yourselves, when we team up, my delegated role, because I pretty much suck at everything else, forgive me for the language suck, but I do. I suck at a lot of things. I'm terrible at a lot of things. I find people that are better than me, so what I do is I do the talking. So just imagine if we were to build a business together in friendship and spirit, we all could come to an agreement and say, yeah, I'll give it, let's do this thing. Let's build something out together. And we could get passionate about it. Then this is how it would work. I heard a young lady on the line. I think her name was Victoria. And I'm going to use Victoria as an example. Let's say Victoria, I don't know who she is, but she's on tonight's line. Let's say Victoria and I could work together in friendship and spirit, come to a form of an agreement that we're going to blow something out of the water so that young lady by the name of Victoria can do whatever she wants with the rest of her life and not have to worry about finances ever again. So we join a business opportunity of choice, and let's say it's a network marketing. I'll throw network marketing in there just for the sake of throwing network marketing in there. So it's a network marketing enterprise, Company X. This is what I would do. My claim to fame is my ability to speak and my ability to share information that would cause people, the majority of people to want to say yes, and some people would say, that guy's an idiot, that guy's full of hot air, he's just, I'm not into that. That's okay. My bank account will always be bigger than theirs. But the point being is Victoria doesn't want to be a part of that negative group. She wants to be a part of a proactive group. So she joins forces with me. And just imagine if we could do this with everybody and we taught everyone just to be appointment setters. You don't have to sit and do three-way calls. You don't have to sit and do one-on-one presentations. You don't have to run around and, draw circles at Starbucks or, whatever it is. What if I taught you how to bring people to me, to say something to another human being that would empower them to want to hear what I have to say? If I could just teach you that, you're on your way to wealth, big time. So Victoria and I are going to do a private business briefing. We can do it in a Google Hangout. We can do it in a conference room with a webinar room where the camera's on me. You can all see my face, whatever it is. But Victoria and I are going to do a webinar, conference call, or a Google chat, Hangout, doesn't really matter. But she's going to invite 5 people to that presentation. I'm going to invite 5 people to that presentation. Okay? And it's really simple when you learn how to do it without giving people a whole bunch of hype and all that BS crap, and we got the greatest company, and let me show you the next Dun & Bradstreet report, and the next $1 trillion industry. All that stuff's insane. You don't need to do that if you want to make money. People that do that don't make money. So Victoria puts 5 people in a business briefing, and I put 5 people in a business briefing. We invite them professionally. Out of curiosity, they want to be there. Let's say we were to do that on a Monday morning at 10 o'clock. So I'm in a Google chat, broadcasted through YouTube, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. There's all kinds of really cool technology that we can tap into and do some really cool things. What if I got to present to 10 fresh, brand new people that wanted to better their lives, wanted to financially better their lives, and they wanted to do it where there's absolutely no financial risk? Because I'm going to share something with you right now. I don't think you've ever heard this on any other training call in the world. What I'm doing and what I'm doing in the future comes with a 100% money-back guarantee. But that's not what I wanted to tell you. Here's what I wanted to tell you. I can teach anyone in the world how to join any business opportunity in the world. I don't care what it is, affiliate programs, multi-level marketing programs. I can show all of you on this line how to get involved in any business your heart desires without ever taking one penny out of your pocket. I don't pay to get into business opportunities, and it's not because companies offer me $500,000 and all that crap that go along with it. If I was a nobody, I can still get involved in a business opportunity without paying a penny out of my pocket, and I will be in profit before the end of the month. And I can teach you all how to do that. So now, I'm sharing that with you because just imagine, for those of you that are marketing online and you were able to teach your prospects, whatever it is you're doing, generically speaking, with or without me, imagine when somebody comes back to you and says, what does it cost? And you said, it's only going to cost you the time to evaluate. And they'll say, well, outside of the time to evaluate, how much money do I need to bring to the table? Wouldn't you like to be able to say to those people, if you like what you hear, if you like what you see, and you think that you and I could be marketing partners and work together in friendship, I can show you how the rich people do it. And unlike the other people that were on that call, I can show you how to do it without taking one penny out of your pocket. Would you like to join forces with me, yes or no? How powerful would that be if you were marketing a business opportunity? Your closing ratio would be like mine, 99% closing, 90% closing, 95% closing. When you learn how to master that with confidence and posturing skills, you control and dominate. So now let me go back. I do the presentation with 10 brand new people on the call. It could be a Google chat, doesn't really matter. We show these people how they can get involved in a business opportunity with us, no financial risk, 0. 100% money back guarantee, that's on the table, and then I can show them how to leverage themselves in without taking one penny out of their pocket. You can understand the closing ratio is going to be pretty high. So we had 10 people in the first presentation at 10 o'clock in the morning. What if those 10 people were so empowered and that presentation was not the sales pitch per se? It's always a sales pitch, but what I do is I teach people a better way of life. I don't hype them out and BS them and give them all that crap that other presenters do. I'm showing them and teaching them systematically how they can't fail in that 22-minute presentation, because I do all the presentations. They never have to talk. They never have to do what I do. Bring them to Daddy. and I say that in a fun-loving way, and I close everybody, pretty much, okay? Or they don't see the picture. Either the light goes on or it doesn't. Again, it all depends on what that human being wants in their life. There might be a commonality there, and there may not. But for those that really want a better life, they'll say yes, because there's no financial risk. So what if we taught those 10 people to bring 5 people each to the next call? Taught them how to invite 5 people without all the stupid canned scripts that you have to read on the phone. Hi, my name's Val. I was wondering if you'd like to take a look at a home-based business. And since I'm totally useless, dysfunctional, I really don't know what I'm doing. I've got my upline on the phone that's going to, ambush you right now. They're sitting in the background waiting for me to give them the signal because I really don't know what to do or say. No, I'm not going to teach you how to do that stuff. All right? So the point being is if we teach 10 people how to invite people to the next call at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, what's 10 times 5? Remember grade 3 math? I think it's 50. So now I get to invest my time in 50 brand new people. I'm not wasting my time doing 3-way calls all day, one-on-one. I'm not wasting my time on Facebook. I'm not wasting my time generating leads. I'm not wasting 9 years out of my life trying to figure out when is this system going to work. I'm communicating. I'm building the relationship. I'm teaching people prosperity. I'm attracting them into my life. I'm not hiding behind a computer. I'm not ripping them off for money. I'm not saying, well, I don't pick up the phone to talk people. We're not allowed to do that in my business. We just generate sales without talking to people because we're all in an asylum and we can't speak. We went to the vet and got our voice box taken out. That's totally retarded. I mean, you can do that stuff if you want, but I mean, you know what? Reach out to people. Don't ever tell somebody you're not willing to talk to them if they want to talk to you. That's what I mean by that. So we have 50 people on that call. I do the same presentation, very similar presentation, empower these people, teach them a better way of life, no financial risk, and we're going to create wealth together. I do that call in 22 minutes. I get to invest my time in how many people? 50. What if we taught those 50 people to invite 5 people to the next call? That's 7 o'clock tonight. 50 times 5, 250. So now at 7 o'clock, I come on again on your behalf, and I do the delivery of the message. I talk to 250 people, show them a no-risk business opportunity that'll blow their mind, get them excited in a fun-loving way, make them feel needed, wanted, desired, let them know that they're not going to walk the desert alone and be bailed out on and left to be a stray cat and lose their money in another program. 250 people excited. What if they wanted to come to the last call of the night and invite 5 people? If 250 people could somehow invite 5 people to the call, we teach them how to do it. The last call of the night on Monday, 10 o'clock in the evening, 5 times 250 is 1,250 people. So now watch this. While the rest of the world's out there fine-tuning their autoresponders and farting around with all their tools and their bells and whistles, I've already talked to 10, 50, 250, 1,250, 1,560 people today. I'm way ahead of the game, right? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't use autoresponders and have all the bells and whistles. You should do it, but don't waste your life away sitting there playing with that stuff for 8 hours a day trying to figure out how to set it up, even though you know how to set it up. So 1,560 people would have heard the presentation today, right? So that's on a Monday. What if we did that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? And now technology, the Google, we've got, sending people video presentations, sending people, webinars that look live, that are scheduled, but they're really pre-recorded, but they think they're on live calls. I mean, the technology, wow, is there now to blow this out of the water. Now, let me show you the numbers here, realistic numbers, because those numbers aren't realistic. Many of you are scientists and probably physicists, and God only knows who Aaron's associated with on this call. But the point being is, let me break it down to layman's terms. That's the world that I live in. I'm dumb. I only got grade 11 education, but I became very wealthy. The point being is, let's say out of the 1,560 people that were supposed to show up today to learn something, to think about generating and creating prosperity in their lives, let's say only 100 of them actually showed up. 1,460 people had a better excuse in life for why their life is the way it is. They, maybe they want to stay at home and watch All in the Family, or, stay at home and watch Treasure Island, or, the Partridge Family or something like that. God only knows. People have excuses for why they can't ever be successful in life. but on their deathbed they regret everything. Isn't that amazing? So the point being is, let's say only 100 show up out of the 1,460 people were just, procrastinators. Out of 100 that showed up, let's say 50 of them were risk takers. 50 of them had the guts, the courage, the desire to participate in something where there's no financial risk. The others said, well, it must be a scam because, you're supposed to go to work for the rest of your life and be a slave and work for 40 years of your life. And since all these people are making money and stuff, there must be something wrong with it. And that guy drives a Ferrari and owns $23 million in houses and stuff. He must be a scam artist because we don't live in that world. Can't relate to that. I got a 40-year mortgage and I'm basically going to bust my back for the rest of my, some people live their lives that way, and that, that's okay. There's nothing I can do about that. So let's see, out of the 100 people, 50 people joined Victoria's business today. Because Victoria started this whole domino effect chain reaction, 50 sales. Victoria, I know you're out there. You probably could handle 50 sales. 50 on a Monday, 50 on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 days in a week times 50. That's 250 people a week in your business. 250 sales. And let's say each sale was worth, I don't know, $10. What's 10 times 250? $2,500 a week. That's not bad. Hey, if it was only $5 a sale on something, 250, what's that? That works out to what? $5,000 a week, if I have that right. So, that's not a bad income. Is that right? 250 times, I don't know what it is. It's something like that. I told you I didn't do well in school. 10 is 2,500, so half of that, I'm sorry. So figure out half of that. But let's say we did 250 people a week on average times 4 weeks in a month. That's 1,000 people bought your product or service or joined your downline in 1 month times 12 months in a year. There'd be 12,000 sales in a year or 12,000 people in your downline in multi-level marketing with somebody that knows how to actually present and teach and help people get to where they want to go. But I just showed you 12,000. I was doing, in less than a year, 283,000 people in 7.5 months. I put 17,200 people in one company in 6.5 weeks using that model. But the biggest thing is understanding people and people's psychology and empowering them. Marketing is the art and science of empowering, communicating, and developing a relationship with another human being. And when you understand the situation that your audience is in on the other side of the fence and you reach out to them, let them know that you're there to help them, to see it through and to work with them and get them to where they want to go, understand their needs, they're going to want to work with you. And if you're going to take all their pain away, you see there's two principles in life. There's pain and there's pleasure. And if you can take people from a very painful situation in their life and bring them into a world of pleasure, it's going to be really uncomfortable for them at first. Subconsciously, they won't be able to relate to it. They'll love it, but it's going to be really surreal. It's going to be unreal at first. And then all of a sudden, they'll be desensitized to it, and they'll never want to go back to the crappy world. They'll never want to look back again to paying rent or paying a mortgage, making car payments, getting up and answering to an alarm clock at 5 o'clock in the morning for some boss at work. That sucks. I think that system totally sucks. So I think the home-based business industry is going to explode big time. I mean, people have been saying it for years that it's exploding big time. Well, everything's exploding big time, right? It's going to get bigger because people look what's going on in the United States right now. Foreclosures, government's falling apart. The medical system sucks down there. I mean, you got a lot of things. You got a lot of problems, challenges down there. And for people to, to wait till they become 60 or 65 or 70 to finally wake up and realize that, hey, maybe I shouldn't have, sat back and waited so long. I think we all need to get creative and take a look at how to create a solution to the problems. I'd love to see every single one of you on this line have an incredible life while you're here on Earth. I'd love to see every single one of you live debt-free. I'd love to see every single one of you leave a legacy behind for your children, your grandchildren, if that's the case you're in. I just don't want to see any of you struggle. There's no reason to. So I think the man-made system that we bought into and that has been basically, pushed on to us through the curriculum that's designed in society, I think it sucks. And if you think I'm wrong for saying that, I'm not going to apologize because I won't apologize for that. I don't think if any of you believe in something like God or whatever, I don't think poverty is holy. I don't think if there is a God out there, and I don't know, but hopefully there is, I don't think God wanted anyone to live in poverty. Poverty is a choice. Debt's a choice. A mortgage is a choice. Paying rent's a choice. How do I know that? Because I was the kid that grew up with an alcoholic father and my mom left when I was 8. I was told I was a piece of trash for years. I was told I was a loser for years. I was told I would never amount to anything for years. I was told that nobody could love me for years. Because my dad was always hammered all the time telling that. So the point being is, what is it you want in your life? You know, and I know that's scary to a lot of people out there, but the big thing is, what do you want for your life? You know, and you decide. You make that choice. So anyhow, on tonight's call, I'm sorry it took a little bit long, but I just want to give you just some of it. I only gave you just a few seats on tonight's call as to what it's all about. But Aaron's got an incredible offer right now. I've given him the rights to be able to do what he wanted to do at the Mentors in Motion course to help people get to the other side. And you can use it in every area of your life. I use it to better my marriage. I use it to become an incredible parent. I don't have to go to work. I stay at home and I take my kids to private school every day. And I escort them and spend quality time. What do I do for a living? I'm a domestic dad. You know, I spend as much time as I can with my kids because I know, I'm not going to be on this planet forever. My oldest son's 31. My youngest son's 5 years old. So, you know, it all depends what your priorities are in the game of life, and you decide what it is you want to do. So with that, I want to thank you all personally for taking the time to get on this call. Aaron's going to send out an email, and he probably already has. If you want to find out more about Mentors in Motion and how to take whatever profession, it doesn't have to be multi-level marketing. It doesn't just have to be affiliate programs. If you want to take any profession to the next level, even if you want to raise at work. If I was the type of person that went to work and I love my job, because I respect the fact that people love their jobs and they go to work every day and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, my boss would be giving me raises all the time because I know how to get a raise. I know how to get a raise all the time. I would probably be getting paid more, even though if I was a laborer, I'd probably be making more than the vice president. And I show you how these things are done. Very strong spiritual principles in there. And remember, life's an inside job. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And the good book says, ask and ye shall receive. And if you're afraid to ask, you'll never receive. Okay? So, Aaron, once again, thank you so much for giving me the time to be on this call. I know it was long, and I just got so much information in my head. I was just trying to discover a way tonight how to encompass it and kind of package it in a bundled package and, make it deliver nice, and hopefully some people got something out of tonight's call. But if any of you want to learn how to walk on water in the home-based business industry and you really want to take your business to the next level and you want to see what it's like to go from the basement to the penthouse and you really want to know what some of us are doing to generate, income that the average person couldn't even imagine, discover what Aaron has to offer you in the next few emails that I'll be sending out to the group. It's powerful stuff. And it was taught to me and I used it wisely, and it'll be taught to you, and maybe you want to use it wisely as well. So